Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been following the Canadiens this season, you know that things have been a bit of a roller coaster ride. The team has been trying to find its footing, develop young talent, and stay competitive in a really tough Atlantic division. But just when fans thought the Canadiens might be heading into a quiet period, something unexpected happened. An international-level shakeup that could have major ramifications for the future of the franchise. That's right, I'm talking about the blockbuster trade involving none other than Carey Price, the legendary goaltender who's been synonymous with the Canadiens for over a decade. Now, the trade itself might seem like just another transaction on paper, but when you peel back the layers, it's clear that this move is about so much more than just swapping players. The Canadiens traded Carey Price to the San Jose Sharks, but what's really interesting is the why behind it and what it means for the team's future. For years, Price has been a cornerstone of the franchise, a symbol of resilience and excellence. But as many fans know, injuries and age have taken their toll. Price hasn't played since late in the 2021-22 season, and the team had placed his contract on long-term injured reserve to manage salary cap implications. But here's where it gets more intriguing. The Canadiens, under the management of Kent Hughes, have been carefully navigating their salary cap situation, especially with their young core emerging now. The trade to San Jose isn't just about clearing cap space, it's about strategic flexibility. You see, Price's contract, while massive in cap hit $10.5 million, was only paying him a base salary of $2 million this season. The rest was tied up in signing bonuses and bonuses based on performance, which complicates things. If Montreal had kept Price on their roster, especially with his injury history and his contract structure, they would have faced significant challenges, including overages from performance bonuses that could have spilled into next season's cap. That's a huge problem for a team that's trying to build around young players and maintain flexible cap management. Imagine trying to develop Ivan Demidov, who's a serious Calder Trophy contender, and also giving opportunities to Lane Hutson, a young defenseman with a bright future. The last thing you want is to be hamstrung financially, unable to sign key players or make necessary moves because of cap overages. That's why this trade, in many ways, is about strategic planning. It's about setting the Canadiens up for sustained success in the coming years. Now, you might be wondering, why did San Jose want Price? Well, the Sharks are in a bit of a rebuild themselves, but they're also trying to stay competitive in a very tough league. They're a team that could use a veteran presence in net, especially as they look to develop their younger players. And with Price's contract, even if he's not playing regularly, his cap hit and signing bonus obligations are manageable, especially considering they're likely to be a team that's looking to stay above the salary cap floor all season long. The Sharks, after all, are probably going to be in a position of selling assets as the season progresses, so picking up Price at this stage makes a lot of sense financially. What's most interesting, though, is how this move opens the door for the Canadiens to reshape their roster. With Price's contract off the books, Montreal now finds itself with about $4.57 million of cap space free. That's a significant amount for a team that's still in a rebuilding phase but wants to be aggressive in adding pieces or extending their young stars. This newfound flexibility means the Habs can explore options, perhaps make a splash in the trade market, or even re-sign some of their promising young talents. And let's not forget Gannon Laroque, the prospect they acquired in this deal. Laroque is a 22-year-old defenseman, drafted in the 4th round back in 2021. He's not a superstar yet, with a low ceiling at this point, but he's a young player with potential. Standing 6'2" and weighing around 201 pounds, he's been splitting his recent seasons between the American Hockey League's San Jose Barracuda and the ECHL's Wichita Thunder. He's had some injury setbacks, missing all of 2024-25, but at this stage of his career, every bit of experience counts. The Canadiens are banking on his development, hoping that with proper nurturing, he can grow into a reliable defenseman who can contribute in the future. This trade, while seemingly small on the surface, could be the first domino in a series of moves by the Canadiens. With the cap space now available, the team could pursue a veteran or two, or perhaps make strategic trades to bolster their lineup. Fans should be excited, because the Canadiens are building with an eye toward the future, and this move signals a new level of strategic thinking from management. It's also worth noting that Price's departure marks the end of an era, but it also opens up opportunities for the team's young core to step up and take on bigger roles. And speaking of the team's trajectory, it's important to remember that the Canadiens are still very much in a rebuilding phase. They have some promising prospects like Ivan Demidov, who's been making waves in the league, and Lane Hutson, who's been showing flashes of brilliance on the blue line. The team's focus has been on developing young talent, maintaining cap flexibility, and positioning themselves for a competitive window in the next few seasons. This trade fits perfectly into that strategy, giving them the breathing room they need to maneuver. Now, I know some fans might be feeling nostalgic, seeing Price leave the team after all he's meant to Montreal. But the truth is, this is part of the natural cycle of a franchise. Every team goes through rebuilds, and sometimes that means making tough decisions. The Canadiens are betting on the future, and with this move, they're signaling to the league and to their fans that they're serious about building a sustainable, competitive team. Looking ahead, the Canadiens will have to make some smart moves, perhaps look for some veteran leadership to stabilize the locker room and continue developing their young stars. The upcoming season is going to be crucial for them to see how their plans unfold and whether this new cap flexibility translates into on-ice success. Fans should be excited because the foundation is being laid for something special, even if it's still in the early stages. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Montreal Canadiens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. Thanks for being with us today, and as always, go Habs.